Hello, I'm not Brimster.
I'm not FullDeck,
No, I'm FullDeck.
and I'm missing a few cards, as always.
And here we are again. We're very glad that Brimster's willing to have us back on the channel. And today we're coming to you with a puzzle called Hilbert's Curveball by Heliopolix. And this, unlike our previous guest solves for Brimster, this is going to be a blind solve. We have not solved this puzzle before. We found this puzzle because we had been afraid of Heliopolix's puzzles for a while, and we finally solved one that was posted in testing elsewhere. And we really enjoyed it. So we went and looked at Heliopolix's Logic Masters Germany webpage to see what other puzzles we could do. And the title of this one grabbed us immediately. Hilbert curves are this really interesting mathematical structure. Do you want to talk about Hilbert curves? Just briefly, we promise.
Okay. Briefly about Hilbert curves, they are known as space-filling curves. They're defined recursively, and no matter which point in the square you pick, there will be a piece of the curve that is really close to it. And they've got all sorts of weird applications as well. It feels like really pure mathematics, but it can apparently be used to help schedule Meals on Wheels deliveries.
It's pretty cool stuff. So we'll send Brimster a link to a video by 3 Blue 1 Brown that talks a little bit more about Hilbert curves if you're interested in more of the space-filling curve math behind this. That's all we're going to say about it from that view. But we were particularly excited when we opened this puzzle and saw that not only is the curve that appears in the puzzle about as good as you can get for a space-filling curve in a Sudoku grid, but it's a modular line, and we love modular lines.
We've done a lot of modular line puzzles.
We
with,
have
a bunch of other people.
Yes, we had
Pack.
we were delighted to be part of a group effort creating a puzzle pack that was released through Cracking the Cryptic, and so we'd like to give a shout out to J.C. Goddard, Jeremy Dover, Round Planner, and Rockrat Zero, who were the other setters in that pack of puzzles. So if you like the modular line arithmetic or the modular line logic in this puzzle, there's some other really good modular lines puzzles out there, not just by the 6 of us, but lots of other setters as well. So
Let's have a look at the rules.
let's have a look at the rules.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so almost Sudoku rules apply.
Almost Sudoku rules? What does that mean?
So it's clearly not a 9x9
Oh,
grid.
you're right. It's not even a regular 8. Okay, so I'm seeing a 2x4 here, and a 2x4 there, and a 2x4 here. Okay, so this is an 8x8, but it's an 8x8 irregular Sudoku grid. So we don't get to use all of the numbers 1 through 9. Are we using 1 through 8?
No. Place 8 of the digits 1 through 9 in each row, column, and 2x4 box without repetition. So we're using the digits 1 through 9.
Okay.
But we're skipping one for each region, box, column, or
Same one every time?
row.
So,
No, it could be the same one.
So just so everybody knows, we've got the screen far enough away that I can't actually read the rules. So this is not an act that's happening right now. I actually cannot see the rules. So okay, so we could say do 3, 4, 1, 2, 6, 7, 9. What have I left out? 5 on that row. What did I leave out? I left out 8. So down here I could have 8, 2, 3, 1. Trying not to repeat anything. I can't use a 4 in that box. 5, 6, 9. Is there anything else I can put in there? 7. So that would work because
For those two boxes
for
and
those
those
two
two
boxes,
rows.
for those 2 boxes and those 2 rows. Okay, so irregular 8x8 using 8 of the 9 digits, but leaving 1 out in each row, each column, and each 2x4 region set off by darker lines. We've never done a puzzle like this. Oh, this is what
going
were
to
we
be
thinking?
I think fun is the word you're looking for.
Fun is absolutely the word I'm looking for. And if this puzzle sees the light of day, then you'll know that we somehow stumbled through it. Okay, by the way, this puzzle is rated as 2-star difficulty on Logic Masters Germany with a 94% beauty rating. So we're excited about this. We don't going much beyond 2-star. Go ahead. Yes.
Modular lines.
Yes,
We know modular lines.
I know
Okay,
modular.
we know modular
Oh, wait,
lines.
let's hope is it really modular lines? It's not almost modular lines?
It is really modular lines.
Okay.
Okay, so any group of 3 adjacent cells along the teal line
So like that set of 3 digits.
must contain 3 different residue classes.
Okay, and residue classes, we
Yeah.
like residue classes. So the residue you can think of as the remainder. So when you divide any whole number by 3, there will be a remainder. It might be 0, it might be 1, it might be 2. And so when we think about what's happening here, we can kind of group all of the numbers into 3 groups. Those that have remainder 0, those that have remainder
3, 6,
1.
and 9.
Yes, and those that have remainder 2. So the ones that have remainder 0, we like to color those blue. And I'm just putting the colors in now. I have no idea if that one's going to have remainder 0
Why
or
do you
not.
choose blue there?
I choose blue because blue on the keypad that comes with Sudoku pad is sort of the default keypad. Blue goes with the number 9, and 9 has remainder 0. So we like to use blue for
So the column in which blue appears is
Yes.
3, 6, and 9.
Yes.
Those are the digits which have remainder 0.
Exactly. And then the digits that have remainder 2 appear in the column that has yellow, which is 8. And so we'll use yellow for the digits that have remainder 2 when divided by 3.
And then red
And then red.
for the column 1, 4, 7.
Yes. So we wind up with, and again, I don't know if those are going to be the order in which those digits appear, but we do know if they were in this order, well, any 4 that appear next to each other, 2 of the colors in the middle, they're going to be different. In this case, they're yellow and red.
That's going to force both ends to be blue,
Yes.
because it has to be the third color.
Yes.
And now, following the yellow, red, blue, the next one must also be yellow.
Yes. So that
The
we
next
get,
one must be red.
yes, because we had the red and the blue, we needed the yellow. If we have the blue and the yellow, we need the red. If we have the yellow and the red, we need the blue. So once you determine the order for 3 of the cells along the line, you're going to have the order of the colors for the rest of the line because they have to go through, they're cyclic with what we call period 3. They repeat every 3 cells.
Now, there's another wrinkle here.
Oh, lordy. Another one? Okay.
Yes, the 2 line segments. If you notice, there are 2 modular lines here.
Let's see. 1.
It's the entire grid.
Well, yeah. So, but that's a single line. Okay. So this side of the grid is 1 line. I missed a cell out, but so all of this, I'm trying to trace it in order, and I'm failing miserably. Yeah. So that's a single modular line. Okay.
And the other side
Is a separate modular
is a
line.
separate modular line, but they are connected into a single line.
Wait, what?
At row 1, column 8, and row 8,
Row 1,
column 1. So somehow
Oh,
those
so
two
they
are
glue
connected.
together. Okay.
Now,
So does that mean so if, for example, we're going blue, red, yellow, let me put colors in it. If we were going blue, red, yellow, then the line continues here with blue, red.
so this is where we have a difference of opinion.
Oh dear, what do you think it is?
I think they're actually the same cell that are glued together.
Oh, which would mean that this would not be blue, it would be
yellow.
yellow, and that would not be red. That would be where we would start our repeat.
Yeah. So we're going to have to experiment and see which of the 2 interpretations is correct.
Okay.
We
Well,
have read the rules ahead of time and come to the conclusion that we don't understand them.
yeah, except I had forgotten that because that was a while ago. So, okay, so now...
Is there anything else
that
in the
it?
rules?
Is that
I think
it?
that's it.
Is it? Okay. Well, let's scroll down and see. Modular, 'cause I thought there
Oh
was
no,
something.
slow thermos.
Okay, slow thermos. And I'm the one who typed in the rules, so I knew there was something else. So slow thermo. On a normal thermo, digits have to increase from the bulb, the gray bulb, all the way to the tip. So for example, it could go, in color mode, 3, 4, 6. That wouldn't work on this one because I started way too up. But they would have to increase, not necessarily consecutively. On a slow thermo, you have a little bit more flexibility. If you're in the same region, yes, they have to increase because you can't repeat in the same region. But a slow thermo, they're not allowed to decrease. I couldn't drop back down to 2 or 1, but I could repeat the 3 if I've left the region. And then I'd have to increase again, maybe up to 6, but then I could repeat the 6 if I wanted to. Not required to, but it is an option. So that's going to make things a little more interesting with the slow thermos. Okay? Is that it?
I think that's it.
Okay, here we go. Let's
Restart the timer?
Let's restart. Yes. So, all right, here we go.
Let's give this a whirl.
Let's give this a whirl. So I say we just go ahead and start coloring since we know that there is a repeat every 3 digits. Keep an eye on me because I know that I will miscount. So what I'm going to do is because of what we talked about the periodicity 3, I know that every third cell I'm going to repeat the same color. I don't know which, so I'm going to use something that's not blue, red, or yellow. I'll use green for those.
Yep.
And then we'll go everything, the immediate cell after green, if I'm continuing the same direction along the line, will now be my second color. Let's call it pink. And then the remaining cells, which should each be 3 apart on that line as well.
Orange.
Yeah, orange and pink don't do so well. How about just gray for now? Oh, that's bad with the thermos.
Yeah.
All right, orange it is. Okay. We'll hopefully change those out. Oh, that's horrible, but it's what it is. So now you say that this should be green, and I say orange, pink, green, that it
You're
should be
saying
orange. Which way do you want to try?
I know it's not pink
It is definitely not pink. How do you know it's not pink, though?
because there are 2 pinks in row 8 already,
Yes.
and those 2 would both be pink.
Yes. But of course, pink is the one color that both of us agreed it couldn't be anyway,
Yes.
because we're either continuing with that or we're starting again. So, yeah. So let's see. Let's see what happens. Let's go with your way. Let's suppose those are green. So third, and then that would be green, and then up another would be green, and then green, and then green. We're sort of keeping an eye out to see if this is breaking anything as we go. Okay, these are all the same color. Oh, wait. Nope, that would only be the third green. So they are either green or orange. Because of they're either continuing on with orange, then pink, then green, or they're still green. Let's try them being green.
Well, can we see anything else?
Well, then the ones after green would be orange, and that would be those, and that would put 4 oranges in the row.
So I'm wrong.
So they're not green. Oh, that's bad. They're all so they are not green. We are not. It's not the same cell. We are continuing on the path. So those are going to be orange, and then after orange along the path. What's after orange along the path?
Pink.
Pink. Okay, thank you. So those are all pink, and then the remaining ones are green. And hopefully we'll be able to figure out fairly soon which color is which, because the pink and the orange next to each other are killing me. Okay. Let's see, how long is this? This is at most 9,
8.
8, 7, 7, 6, 6, 5. And I was doing, the counting there was using the slow thermo and just sort of going from what the tip could be down. That seems like a little much for pencil marking to me at the moment. Is there another place that we could dive in that would be more productive for marking? There's some really intertangled thermos here, and they're really kind of hard to see with all the colors. Well, another interesting thing to look at would be what's left out, because one thing that happens with the numbers 1 through 9, with these residue classes and the remainders, you have at most 3 of each, because between the digits 1 and 9, there are only 3 with remainder 0, 3 with remainder 1, and 3 with remainder 2. We're leaving out 1 of each in each row, column, and box because of this abnormal 8x8 Sudoku rule. So I wonder if that might help us some. Like, we've got all of the pinks in this column, and all of the oranges, we're missing a green. So if this were a 9, this green, then that would mean that the green that's further up on the thermo, those would have to be either 3 or 6. And that still works. If this were an 8, those would have to be 2 or 5, and that would work. If this were a 7, which has remainder 2, remainder 1, yes, I can do this. I can actually do basic arithmetic sometimes. Then the other greens would also have to have remainder 1, so they would have to either be 1 or 4. This one can't be a 1, but it could be a 4. if green are the remainder 2 ones, then orange, no, it could still be that these could be 5s, and that could be anything. Okay.
This video is feeling like it won't see the light of day.
It is at the moment. I'm not seeing quite where to go with this. But whatever these are, this may be the key. Look at this. These 2 pinks are in the bulbs of thermos that continue on out. So let's see how far, where is these thermos? So this thermo, it looks like, is going just that far. But it's got 2 greens on it, so that's got to be no, this could be the same digit. These 3, no, that's 4 greens on a single thermo, but it's a slow thermo. So at least one of these is repeated, because these two are different. So for example, let's just put in some, this is probably completely incorrect, but if this were a 1, then that would mean that the greens have remainder 1, so we're pulling from 1, 4, and 7. On a slow thermo, this could then be either 1 or 4, but the next digit, which is still in the same residue class, has to increase. It's along the thermo and in the same box. So this would have to be a 4 or a 7, and the next one down would also have to be a 4 or a 7. But again, that is not really helping much because we don't know if these are actually that class. They could just as easily be class 2 or class 3. So, do we get something similar happening anywhere else? So I'm having trouble figuring out, again, I think maybe the trick is what's being left out in each box, which type is being left out. So in box 8 down here,
we're missing a pink.
We're missing a pink. This has to be whichever pink is missing from over here, from over in this section. Those pinks aren't on a thermo though, and so maybe what we're looking for is ones that are on a thermo. Like we've got all of the greens in this box, and two of them are at a start of a thermo, and one's at the end of a thermo. And this thermo has all 3 of the green. Well, it has 3 greens, but these could be repeated.
Have a deduction.
Yes, please.
Can the end of that thermo...
Which one, this one?
Yes.
Right here.
Can that be different from the middle of the thermo?
That was not a deduction. That was a question.
No, they must be different.
They do. Yeah, no, I see. So let me see if I can explain why now that you asked that question. Whatever's here in row 8, column 4, has to be different than whatever's in row 8, column 8, because they're in the same row. But all 3 of the greens are represented in box 8. So this green that is in row 8, column 4 has to be on the thermo part of what's in row 7. And it can't be one apart because you can't fit another digit into the slow thermo between 2 digits of the same if they're in the same box. So yes, these 2 are the same digit.
Can we letter them? Maybe call them A's?
Yes, I think that we should maybe do that. But maybe we can do better than that. Because these 2 are the same and they're at the end of a thermo. And this third one, so these 2 are different. Could this be the middle or high of its class?
It couldn't be the high. Sorry, which are you selecting?
I'm sorry, the row 7, column 6. Could it be?
It cannot be the high because it has the 2 remaining greens on the thermo are bigger than it.
Yes, it cannot be that way. Could it be the middle? If it's the middle, then it's followed by the high, which would mean that this would have to be the low one, and it's too far down the thermo because it's got one of its own color further back. So let's do that with numbers. Let's use 258 this time. 258, the low one is 2, the middle is 5, and the high is 8. So if this were the middle one, if it were the 5, it would have to be followed by 8s, which would put a 2 on this slow thermo, and that would mean that these have no value. There's no way to put a green that's lower than 2 in the grid. So this cannot be the middle. It can't be the high. So it has to be the low of its class. So it is either 1, 2, or 3. We don't know which class yet, but it's either 1, 2, or 3. Now, this and this, so row 7, column 2, and row 8, column 8, do those have to be the same? I think they do.
They do.
They do, yeah, okay. Sorry, the missing out a digit is going to mess with my mind. So these are either the middle or the high of their class. I'm not sure that we can do much with that yet. But this one is either middle or high, row 8, column 8. So this is either low or middle, and it could be low, middle, high. Or these could be the same. Whew. Yeah, this puzzle may defeat us. It's only 2-star on LMD.
Yeah.
Okay. What do we get?
So
What else do we get?
if green in row 8, column 8 was middle,
Yes.
let's say it was a 6,
Okay. If this were a 6,
then we could have 5 and 5 in the orange,
4 and 4, 3 and 3, 1. No, 2. If we're saying orange is the 2 and 5. Yes. So that would work.
So that is possible.
What if it were 5? If green were 5.
Then orange could be 4, purple could be 3,
So
green
4,
could be
4,
2,
3,
and
3,
orange could be
2, 2,
1.
1.
But it can't be 4.
It cannot be 4. So it is.
We've got it restricted to 5 digits.
Oh joy! I mean, should we mark it? Is that going to
No,
be
I don't think so.
Yeah. Okay. But maybe we should. I mean, because that's going to play in elsewhere as well. So if this were a 5, it would determine the entire slow thermo. But what else would happen if that were if row 8, column 8 were a 5? We've already said that then row 7, column 2 would have to be a 5, which would make
That
or a 2.
No.
No, it can't be a 2 because of that.
Yeah, it would be 5, 5, 2,
5.
2.
Wait, I'm sorry. You're saying 5, 5,
Go
2, 2. I
from
don't
the
know
top,
what you mean.
from the tip, 5,
This would be a 5,
5,
5.
up.
Oh, this
2.
one would be a 2, and that would be a 2.
Yeah.
That seems breaky to me. We would also know.
Oh, but that would break things because that would make
Yeah.
row 3, column 3 an 8.
Yeah, it would make
And
that
that
an
would
8,
definitely
and that would break it. So this cannot be a 5. Because that, okay, let's step through that with digits. Because, so if this were a 5, it would place a 5 there. Now, on the slow thermo, with this green, we can have either a 2 or a 5, except that we have to have a lower green in the same box. So we would have to have the 5, the 2 for the slow thermos, and then this would also have to be 2. Again, the greens are all under this, we're testing out this 5, restricted to 2, 5, and 8. But that would put an 8 way up here before the 5 on the slow thermo. So that does not work. And in fact, I think that's going to hold
Yeah.
for all of
I
them.
think if we use
so
A,
this
B, and C,
cannot be.
can we use A, B, and C for?
Well, we could, except we'd have to turn on the letter tool.
Okay.
And I mean, the letter tool always messes me up. You know that. You've seen me do the letter tool. So, so the same thing for 6. If we had a 6 here, we'd put a 6 here, which would mean a 6 and a 3, which would put a 9 before the 6 on the slow thermo. So this has to be the high version.
Mm-hmm.
So it has to be 7, 8, or 9. This has to be the middle version, 4, 5, 6 with a 4, 5, 6 repeat and a 7, 8, 9 here. Once we determine which is which, it's going to help a lot.
Can row 3, column 3 be mid?
Row 3, column 3. Can it be middle? If it were middle, then this would be low and that would be high, which would make this one low, which would make this one have to be middle, and that seems to work. These could both be middle, these could both be low, and that one could be high, and that all seems to work.
Mm.
But we're leaving out the low green from row 8. And let's look at where the greens are elsewhere. So up here, we need a low green and we need a high green. And this cannot be the low green because this thermo has a lower green on it.
And they're all in the same box.
And they're in the same box, but even if they weren't, these two are in the same box. So this row 2, column 6 has to be less than. So these can't be the same. So of the low and the high, this has to be the high. So it's a 7, 8, 9, and that one's a 1, 2, 3. So now in this row we have.
That means that row 3, column 3 cannot be low. Row 3, column 3.
Row 3, column 3 cannot be low.
Well, we were asking.
Can't be low.
It has to be the middle.
Has to be the mid. Excellent. And so now these one has to be low and one has to be high. That's going to have to be the low one, row 5, column 3, because it has to be lower than the one that's immediately below it in the box. So these two.
And the bulb must be 1, 2, 3.
And the bulb, yes, because it has to still be green, and we'll have to use the slow thermo there. Okay, we are actually getting somewhere. So now these two are middle and low, and this one is above, are middle and high, and this one is above the high in the same column. So that's middle. So this one is high, and now we have the middle and the high green for the column, so that one has to be low. 1, 2, 3.
Which means the one next to it is middle.
Yes, because in this box, which has 3 greens, we have the low and the high. So this one is 4, 5, 6.
And now row 6, column 7.
That's got to be a 1, 2, 3 because we have the middle and the high greens in the
row
column.
6, column 1, we can.
Yes, in row 6 we have the low and the high green. So the one that remains is the 4, 5, 6. And now this green sees a middle in the column and a high in the row, so it has to be the low, which means that that's a 4, 5, 6.
Which means that the slow thermo does not change between row 2, column 2 and row 3, column 3.
Yes.
As we sort of expected.
And in this box, we have 1 green remaining. It sees a low green and a middle green, so it's a high green. Is that all of the greens?
Nope, we have one more uncolored.
Right there.
Labeled.
Can we do it? Yes, because it's in this box.
So it's a 4,
and
5,
it
6.
sees a low green and a high green, so it's a middle green. That's all of the greens. So once we know which class they are, we know the value for all of those.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now what? Well,
there are still some thermos we haven't attempted to wrangle with.
Well, yeah, but I think we've got some interesting stuff happening here because this is a gap of 3. So it's either 6, 9, 5, 8, or 4, 7.
We could.
So we know that pink
is 5,
is
6,
less
7.
than orange. Yes, these are 5, 6, 7, and the next ones are 6, 7, 8. and they have to be the same, and they have to, so these two cells will have to be the same because they're in the same class. So if they're in the same class, they're either going to be the same, or they're going to jump 3, or they're going to jump 6. We only have a gap of 3 available to us between the two greens on the thermo, so we can't jump 3 with the same color class. These will have to be the same as each other, and these two pinks will have to be the same as each other.
Do we do anything with the thermo that starts in row 5, column 7?
Row
The orange
wait, hang on.
one.
I got to get caught up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, this one. Okay.
Yes. So it goes up to the left,
Yes.
straight up, and then up to the right. Those are all orange.
Okay.
So we've got something similar to what we had with the greens.
Yes. So
To the
this
left.
could be low, low, mid, mid. It could be low, mid. Sorry, low, low, mid, high, low, mid, high, high. I mean, the only place we're forced to have a jump is right in here.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh. And this, what can we say about these two? Do we know if they're class 2 or class 3, they're the highs?
If they're class 0, then they're mids.
Mids. So, if this is class 0, it's a mid. This is a 6. This would have to be 3, 9, and 9, and 3. Oh, my brain hurts. Maybe it's let's look at the pinks for a minute. Because those two are both bulbs of thermos. And yeah, I don't know. Okay, we have all 3 oranges in row 2. This one cannot be low for what we just talked about because of the thermo that starts and has 4 oranges on it. This has to be at least mid. Can't be low. So one of these two is the low. Oh! Oh! Where is... I have a deduction. Where is row 1, column 1 in region 2?
That's not a deduction, that's a question.
I learned from you. So
It is in row 2, column 7.
it has to be in row 2, column 7. And there are 3 oranges in this row. So this orange has to show up somewhere in row 2. It can't be in the same region. These two are the same. This one can't be low. So this one can't be low of its class.
I think you're right.
Yeah. So that's a 4, 5, 6, which is going to do lots of wonderful things.
Yes.
Because
It
it
can't be
actually
6.
can't be 6. This one can't be 4. So that one can't be 4. So this one can't be 5. So that one can't be 5. And I'm just marching up the slow thermo. That orange cell restricted what things could be.
That's nice.
That
Well,
was
that's spotted.
very helpful. So now we know that the greens cannot have remainder 1 because we've taken the 4s out. So for all of the greens that had a 1 in them, the 1 cannot be there because the green has remainder 1. And if we had a remainder 1 in some of the green cells, we would have to have remainder 1 in all of the green cells. So I get to take out all of the 4s, all of the 1s, and all of the 7s. You'll tell me which one I missed in a moment. There we go, 4. That's big. That's very helpful. Okay. So that means that this is 4 or 5, which means that that's 4 or 5. Now, 4 has remainder 1. The lower digit that has remainder 1 would be a 1. 5 has remainder 2. The lower digit that has remainder 2 is a 2. And we have to repeat that class, that same digit in the earlier cell of that thermo. So now, I think we might actually have a hope of doing something in this puzzle. We have 2 oranges left.
So we've got one orange left in the box.
Right, but I think it's important to know all 3 of the oranges are represented. So one of these 3 in row 3 has to be low, and it can't be in the region that already has a low. So this one is a 7-8. So the high remainder 1 or the high remainder 2, and the other one is the low remainder 1 or the low remainder 2.
Row 4, column 3 sees
row 4,
low
column 3.
and mid in the box.
Oh, yeah. The irregular regions are not helping me either. Yes.
That's a 7-8.
So that's a 7-8. Excellent. And so now in, where else can we go? Wow, this row 2, column 3 in the region sees the middle orange, and in the column sees the high orange. So it's a 1-2, which means that in this region, the one remaining orange is a 7-8, and it's the bulb of a slow thermo, so its tip is a 7-8, and the same digits in those cases. Okay. Now, what about anything else that we can do? We have, yes, here we go. Row 5, column 1.
Yep, it's a 7-8.
Sees a 4-5 in the column and sees a 1-2 in the region. So that one's a 7-8, and the other orange in that same region has to be a 4-5.
And now those look down to row 8.
So that one's a 7-8, and next to it is a 1-2. Which means that
That's
in
a
this
4-5.
row we have the low and the high orange, so that one's a 4-5.
And in the box we have
In the region, yes, we have the middle and the high orange, so that one is a low orange.
and the other one in the row.
Okay, so that one is now a 4-5.
It sees a 7-8, so that's a 1-2.
Yep, in this column now we have the high orange and the middle orange, so the remaining orange is a low orange, 1-2. Do we have any other oranges?
I
No.
don't think so.
Okay. Okay. At some point there's probably going to be some Sudoku we could do, but I'm not seeing it yet.
So
What?
row seven-
Oh. Sorry, you say what you say, but I've got something
go
big.
Okay, then I don't. So
Look at that thermo right there. I'm going to take the colors out just for a minute so we can see that thermo.
Oh, that's nice.
Isn't that nice? Because these two can be the same. They could also be the same as
No,
this
the
third digit,
colors, though.
except that when I put the colors back in, they're different classes.
So
So
purple
now, yes,
is
finally.
1 mod 4.
So purple, and I'm going to change now. So we now know that the purples, well, the oranges have to have remained. Let's look at that more closely because we're jumping to things. So this cell right here is at the tip of a 3-cell thermo, and even though it's a slow thermo, so that crosses 3 boxes, so without the modularity constraint, we could have 2, 2, 2, or 1, 1, 1. Since these are different colors, they are different classes, so they have to be different digits. So we can't repeat 1, 1, 1, and that's going to force the tip of this thermo to be a 2. And the other class is going to have to be 1s. So those are now known digits for sure, 100%, and that lets us determine the residue classes for each of the colors.
Let's switch to our normal colors.
Let's
Break our heads
absolutely,
less.
yes. So 1, the purple digits, we know all of the purple digits, all the cells that are colored purple are digits that have remainder 1. And as we said before, for those we use red because that's the column that contains 1, 4, and 7, the digits with remainder 1. And we now know that all of the orange cells are cells that have remainder 2 And those we use yellow because that's the column that has 2, 5, and 8 on the number keypad. And that leaves our reds to be the ones that have...
No, red was correct.
Sorry, not red, green.
Greens.
The greens are the ones that have now remainder 3. They contain 3, 6, and 9 vertically on the keypad. So now we can do a lot of cleanup.
Yes, now we can just march across the grid.
We can. So let's just do that. So this one is blue, so it has to be the 3. That one is blue, so it has to be a 6. That one's blue, it has to be a 9. This one's blue, it must be a 3. Blue, so it's 6. Blue, again, remainder 0, so it has to be the 9. That one has to be a 3. Blue 5 or 6 has to be a 6. Blue 2 or 3 has to be a 3. 9, 6. Blue gives us a 6 and a 3. I'm just going to change. Anywhere that I had a 5 or a 6 and it's blue becomes a 6. Anywhere that we had an 8 or a 9 and it's blue becomes a 9. Because I'm picking up for all of the blue cells the one that has remainder 0. So either 3, 6, or 9. I could probably do that faster, but I'm not going to, yes. Okay, now the yellows, these are the ones with remainder 2. So between a 4 and a 5, 4 has remainder 1, 5 has remainder 2, so I pick up the 5. The 5. I can't see the cells on there. Can you just call them? That's an 8? Okay.
8, 2, oh, sorry.
So this one's a
2,
okay.
8, 5, 8, 5, 2, 8, 5, 8, 2, 8, 2.
Oh, sorry, I saw that one.
8, 2, 5, 2, 8, 5.
Probably driving everybody nuts with the fact that I'm just sort of bouncing all around the grid. Okay, these are both 7s, those I can see. And now we're pretty much done. We've got only reds left to do. Should we get rid of the colors so that it's easier to see everything?
Let's get rid of the blue and the yellow because we've.
Okay.
I think having the reds there would still be helpful.
Okay.
Because that's where we actually have to fill stuff in.
Okay. So all of the reds that are left all have remainder 1, so they're all either 1, 4, or 7. And so it's going to be thermos that's going to help us out here, I'm sure.
Well, I can come up with at least one deduction.
Okay.
In box 2.
In box 2. Which
we're missing
one?
4 and 7.
This is box 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're missing 4 and 7.
Yes.
So what is row 8 in that column?
So since we have 4 and 7, this better be a 1. Okay, I've got a deduction for you. It's
Is it a
not
deduction
really.
or a question?
It's a question.
What can that be?
What can row 5, column 8 be?
Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
4.
yeah, because it sees a 7 in the row, it sees a 1 in the region, so that one's a 4. And now in this region we have the 1 and the 4, so that one's going to be a 7.
And now in row 5 we need a 1.
That's a 1.
And in the region we need a 4.
Okay, you're going region. So in this region we still need a 4, and in this column we have another red to fill. It can't be 1 or 7. So it's not so.
In the next column over we need a 1.
The next column.
Column 5.
Column 5. Column 5 also has 3 reds, and we already see 4 and 7, so it can only be 1. And I realized that we're saying we need this or need that, but we don't necessarily need all of the digits because we've got a missing digit from each one.
We do if we have 3 of the
But
color.
we do if we have 3 of the color.
That's where the color is helping me.
Exactly.
So row 6 we need a 1.
Row 6, that's this one. Okay, so row 6 has 3 reds, and there are already a 4 and a 7, so that's a 1.
Row 1 needs a 1 in column 3.
Okay, row 1 still needs all of them, but column 3, I don't see that. Why do you see that one as a 1?
Because it's the only place that 1 can go in the row. There's 1 in column 2 already.
Okay, so that's okay. So this column, the red 1 is already used up, so this has to be either 4 or 7. So now in this row that has all 3 of the reds, we have a 4-7 pair, which places a 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we can also do something in region 2. The 6 is the bulb of a thermo. It can't be followed by 4. That's
thermo logic. I would have thought. So yes, so we cannot have a 4 after a 6 on a thermo. So that's a 7. That's a 4. The 4 looks over and makes this 7. Row 3, we have 3 reds. We've already used up 1 and 4, so that's a 7.
Below it's a 4.
Okay, because in row 4, we've got 3 reds and we've used up 1 and 7, so that's a 4. In column 1, we've got 3 reds. We've used up 7 and 4. So the remaining one in column 1 is a 1. Okay, now we have in
Again,
column
this is thermo.
3, yes, I see that. But let's get it in as the 4-7 pair. So in this column, we have 3 reds. We've already used 1. So this is a 4-7 pair. And in row 8, we have 3 reds and we've used a 1. So we've got a 4-7 pair. And I do want to take the colors out now because I think that the thermos will be easier to see as cleaning this up now.
So it looks like a deadly pattern, except there's a
Yes.
thermo. That 5 has to be preceded by something no
No
bigger than
greater,
5.
yes.
So it can't be a 7.
Yes, so it's a 4, which resolves the final 2 digits, and that's the solution, the correct solution to
That was a
Hilbert's
lovely
curveball.
puzzle.
It was. That was full of.
I didn't think we'd make it.
I didn't either, especially there at the beginning where we were just sort of going blah, 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 blah. And the colors were, I know, were probably really hard to follow. It certainly was for us, but there was some really lovely logic in there, and we really thank you very much, Heliopolix, for setting this puzzle and for posting publicly that it could be solved by those who wanted to. So we just took the bait and dove right in.
Really enjoyed that.
Yes.
Lovely puzzle. Thanks for setting it.
Yes, absolutely, and we're glad to
And
not.
thanks to Bremster for entertaining the thought of us doing another video.
Yes, yes. And yeah, just beautiful ways that those slow thermos ruled things out. The piece about where the geometry of where could the tip of the thermo go in row 7, super powerful. And then the tip of this thermo and the bulb of the really long slow thermo having to be the same. That was
beautiful.
It was absolutely gorgeous, really lovely construction. So I'm really glad not to be terrified of Heliopolix's puzzles anymore. They're absolutely beautiful, and we encourage you to give this one a shot. You know, post your time. If you solve this one, post your time and which solver you were down in the comments. And please give Bremster a like and subscribe to his channel if you haven't already, because it's just a wonderful channel. All right, thanks everybody. Thanks, Brem.